Yes, Triplex and Weatherheads can be used to serve rooftop units. NEC Section 225.19 requires a minimum clearance of 3 feet from the highest point of the roof to any electrical equipment or conductor, including Triplex and Weatherheads. NEC Section 225.19b allows a reduced clearance of 18 inches if the equipment is listed and marked for use with less clearance. Regarding the images, the Triplex and Weatherheads are properly installed and meet the clearance requirements. The NM wire coming out of the Weatherhead is not permitted and should be replaced with Triplex or other approved outdoor rated cable. When installing electrical equipment on rooftops, several key considerations must be taken into account to ensure safety and compliance with the National Electrical Code, or NEC. Firstly, the type of wiring used is crucial. Non-metallic sheet cable, commonly known as NM cable, is designed for indoor use and is not suitable for outdoor applications. NM cable lacks the necessary protection against moisture, sunlight, and physical damage that outdoor environments demand. Exposure to these elements can lead to deterioration of the cable insulation, creating a risk of electrical shock, short circuits, and even fires. Therefore, it is a violation of electrical codes to use NM cable in outdoor settings, such as extending it from a weatherhead. Instead, outdoor rated cables must be used. Triplex cable, specifically designed for overhead service drops, is a common choice for connecting power from the utility service to a building or to rooftop equipment. Triplex cable consists of multiple conductors, typically aluminum, wrapped together with a weather-resistant insulation. This construction provides the necessary durability and protection against environmental factors. Other approved outdoor rated cables, such as underground feeder, UF cable, or cables installed in conduit, can also be used depending on the specific installation requirements. Secondly, the weatherhead itself plays a critical role in protecting the electrical system. A weatherhead is a fitting installed at the top of a conduit or cable run where it transitions from an overhead service drop to an enclosed wiring system. Its primary function is to prevent water from entering the conduit or building, which could cause corrosion and electrical faults. The weatherhead should be securely mounted and properly sealed to ensure its effectiveness. Thirdly, proper clearance from the roof surface is essential for safety and compliance with NEC requirements. NEC Section 225.19 mandates a minimum clearance of 3 feet from the highest point of the roof to any electrical equipment or conductors, including Triplex cables and weatherheads. This clearance helps prevent accidental contact with energized parts and ensures adequate ventilation to prevent overheating. However, NEC Section 225.19b allows for a reduced clearance of 18 inches if the equipment is specifically listed and marked for use with less clearance. This exception typically applies to certain types of equipment that are designed and tested to operate safely with reduced clearances. It is crucial to verify that any equipment installed with reduced clearance is indeed listed and marked accordingly. The listing will come from a nationally recognized testing laboratory, such as Underwriters Laboratories, UL, and the marking will be permanently affixed to the equipment. In addition to vertical clearance, horizontal clearances from windows, doors, and other building openings must also be maintained to prevent accidental contact with energized conductors. The specific horizontal clearance requirements vary depending on the voltage and type of wiring, so it is essential to consult the NEC for detailed guidance. Fourthly, proper installation techniques are paramount for ensuring the safety and reliability of the electrical system. All connections must be made in accordance with the NEC and industry best practices. This includes using appropriately sized connectors, tightening connections to the specified torque, and properly insulating all splices and terminations. Furthermore, the wiring should be supported and secured to prevent sagging or strain, which could damage the conductors or connections over time. Fifthly, regular inspections and maintenance are essential for identifying and addressing any potential issues before they become safety hazards. Electrical systems should be inspected periodically by qualified personnel to check for signs of damage, corrosion, or loose connections. Any necessary repairs or replacements should be made promptly to maintain the integrity of the system. When selecting and installing electrical equipment for rooftop applications, it is essential to consider several factors, including the environmental conditions, the type of load being served, and the applicable codes and standards. The equipment should be rated for outdoor use and capable of withstanding the expected weather conditions, such as rain, snow, wind, and temperature extremes. The load being served will determine the size and type of conductors, overcurrent protection devices, and other components required for the installation. The NEC provides detailed guidance on these requirements, and it is crucial to consult the code for specific information. In summary, using Triplex and Weatherheads to serve rooftop units is permissible, but it requires careful attention to detail and adherence to all applicable codes and standards. Using the correct wiring types such as Triplex, ensuring proper clearances, and following sound installation practices are all essential for creating a safe and reliable electrical system. Remember that NM cable is not permitted for outdoor use and must be replaced with an approved outdoor rated cable. Always consult with a qualified electrician to ensure that the installation meets all applicable requirements. Let's delve a bit deeper into the specific aspects of using Triplex and Weatherheads for rooftop units, focusing on the technical details and code requirements. Firstly, let's consider the composition and properties of Triplex cable. Triplex cable typically consists of 3 conductors, 2 phase conductors, and 1 neutral conductor twisted together. The conductors are usually made of aluminum, although copper conductors are also available. Aluminum is a lightweight and cost-effective material that offers good conductivity, making it well suited for overhead service drops. The conductors are insulated with a weather-resistant material such as cross-linked polyethylene XLPE, which provides excellent protection against moisture, sunlight, and abrasion. The entire cable assembly is then twisted together, forming a compact and durable package. The neutral conductor is often identified by a longitudinal ridge or stripe on the insulation, making it easy to distinguish from the phase conductors. When selecting Triplex cable for rooftop unit installation, it is important to choose the correct size and ampacity to handle the load. The ampacity of a conductor is its current carrying capacity, which is determined by its size, insulation type, and installation conditions. The NEC provides tables that list the ampacities of various conductors under different conditions. It is crucial to select a conductor with an ampacity that is sufficient to carry the full load current of the rooftop unit, plus any additional loads that may be connected to the same circuit. The size of the Triplex cable will also depend on the distance from the power source to the rooftop unit. Longer distances require larger conductors to minimize voltage drop. Voltage drop is the reduction in voltage along a conductor due to its resistance. Excessive voltage drop can cause equipment to malfunction or operate inefficiently. The NEC recommends limiting voltage drop to no more than 3% for branch circuits and 5% for feeders. To calculate voltage drop, you can use the following formula: voltage drop equals 2 times K times I times D divided by Cm, where K is the direct current resistance factor for the conductor material, I is the current in amps, D is the one-way distance in feet, and Cm is the circular mils area of the conductor. Once you have calculated the voltage drop, you can compare it to the allowable limits and adjust the conductor size accordingly. Now let's turn our attention to the weatherhead. As mentioned earlier, the weatherhead is a fitting that protects the electrical system from water intrusion. It is typically made of aluminum or PVC and has a hood or shield that prevents rain and snow from entering the conduit or cable. The weatherhead should be securely mounted to the building and properly sealed to ensure its effectiveness. There are different types of weatherheads available, each designed for specific applications. Some weatherheads are designed for use with rigid conduit, while others are designed for use with flexible conduit or cable. It is important to choose the correct type of weatherhead for the specific installation. The weatherhead should also be sized appropriately for the conduit or cable being used. The opening in the weatherhead should be large enough to accommodate the conductors without damaging the insulation. When installing the weatherhead, it is important to follow the manufacturer's instructions carefully. The weatherhead should be mounted in a vertical position with the hood or shield facing downward. This will help prevent water from entering the conduit or cable. All connections should be made using approved fittings and connectors. In addition to preventing water intrusion, the weatherhead also provides a point of termination for the overhead service drop. The conductors from the triplex cable are connected to the conductors inside the weatherhead using splices or connectors. The splices or connectors should be properly insulated and protected from the element. The NEC requires that all splices and connections be made in accessible locations. This means that they should be readily accessible for inspection and maintenance without requiring the removal of any building materials. The weatherhead is typically considered an accessible location as it is mounted on the exterior of the building. Now let's discuss the clearance requirements for electrical equipment on rooftops in more detail. As mentioned earlier, NEC Section 225.19 requires a minimum clearance of 3 feet from the highest point of the roof to any electrical equipment or conductors. This clearance is intended to prevent accidental contact with energized parts and ensure adequate ventilation. The 3-foot clearance applies to all types of electrical equipment, including weatherheads, conduits, cables, and junction boxes. It also applies to any other equipment that is mounted on the roof, such as air conditioning units, antennas, and satellite dishes. The clearance is measured from the highest point of the roof, which may be the peak of a gable roof, the top of a parapet wall, or the surface of a flat roof. If the roof has multiple levels, the clearance is measured from the highest point of each level. NEC Section 225.19b allows for a reduced clearance of 18 inches if the equipment is listed and marked for use with less clearance. This exception is intended to accommodate equipment that is specifically designed and tested to operate safely with reduced clearances. The equipment must be listed by a nationally recognized testing laboratory such as Underwriters Laboratories, AL, and the listing must indicate that the equipment is suitable for use with reduced clearances. The equipment must also be marked with a permanent label that indicates the reduced clearance requirement. It is important to note that the reduced clearance exception only applies to the specific equipment that is listed and marked for use with less clearance. It does not apply to other equipment that may be installed nearby. In addition to the vertical clearance requirements, there are also horizontal clearance requirements that must be met. The NEC requires that electrical equipment be located at least 3 feet horizontally from windows, doors, and other building openings. This clearance is intended to prevent accidental contact with energized conductors when people are entering or exiting the building. The horizontal clearance is measured from the edge of the opening to the nearest point of the electrical equipment. The NEC also requires that electrical equipment be located at least 10 feet horizontally from swimming pools, hot tubs, and other bodies of water. This clearance is intended to prevent electrical shock hazards in wet environments. A 10-foot clearance is measured from the edge of the water to the nearest point of the electrical equipment. When installing electrical equipment on rooftops, it is important to consider the potential for snow and ice accumulation. Snow and ice can add significant weight to the equipment and can also create a hazard for people walking on the roof. The equipment should be designed and installed to withstand the expected snow and ice loads. In areas with heavy snowfall, it may be necessary to install snow guards or other devices to prevent snow from sliding off the roof and damaging the equipment. It is also important to ensure that the equipment is properly grounded. Grounding is the process of connecting the electrical system to the earth, which provides a path for fault current to flow back to the source. Grounding helps to protect people from electrical shock hazards and also helps to prevent damage to equipment. The NEC requires that all electrical equipment be grounded in accordance with specific requirements. The grounding system should be inspected periodically to ensure that it is functioning properly. Finally, it is important to remember that the NEC is a minimum standard. Local codes and regulations may have additional requirements that must be met. It is always a good idea to check with the local authorities to determine the specific requirements for your area. In summary, using triplex and weatherheads to serve rooftop units is a common practice, but it requires careful attention to detail and adherence to all applicable codes and standards. Selecting the correct wiring types, ensuring proper clearances, and following sound installation practices are all essential for creating a safe and reliable electrical system. Always consult with a qualified electrician to ensure that the installation meets all applicable requirements. Now, let's focus on some additional nuances related to the use of triplex cable and weatherheads for rooftop unit installations, specifically addressing common challenges and best practices. One common challenge is dealing with the transition from the overhead triplex cable to the internal wiring of the building or the rooftop unit itself. This transition point requires careful attention to ensure a secure and weatherproof connection. Typically, a junction box is used to house the splices or connectors that connect the triplex cable to the building wiring. The junction box should be rated for outdoor use and should be properly sealed to prevent water intrusion. The conductors inside the junction box should be properly insulated and supported to prevent strain on the connections. Another challenge is dealing with the weight and tension of the triplex cable. Triplex cable can be quite heavy, especially over long spans. The weight of the cable can put a strain on the weatherhead and the supporting structure. To alleviate this strain, it is important to properly support the triplex cable with appropriate hardware such as messenger wires or strain reliefs. The messenger wire is a separate cable that runs parallel to the triplex cable and supports its weight. The triplex cable is attached to the messenger wire using clamps or ties. The strain relief is a device that is installed at the weatherhead to prevent the weight of the triplex cable from pulling on the conductors. In addition to the weight of the cable, wind and ice can also put a strain on the weatherhead and the supporting structure. In areas with high winds or heavy ice loads, it may be necessary to use heavier duty hardware and to provide additional support for the triplex cable. When running triplex cable across a roof, it is important to protect the cable from physical damage. The roof surface can be abrasive and can damage the cable insulation over time. To protect the cable, it can be run in conduit or it can be supported on insulated cable trays. The conduit or cable trays should be securely fastened to the roof to prevent them from being dislodged by wind or snow. Another best practice is to use drip loops in the triplex cable. A drip loop is a section of cable that is formed into a loop near the weatherhead. The purpose of the drip loop is to allow water to drip off the cable before it reaches the weatherhead. This helps to prevent water from entering the weatherhead and causing corrosion or electrical faults. The drip loop should be located below the level of the weatherhead and should be large enough to allow water to drip freely. When installing the weatherhead, it is important to use the correct sealant. The sealant is used to seal the gap between the weatherhead and the conduit or cable. The sealant should be compatible with the materials being joined and should be resistant to moisture, sunlight, and temperature extremes. It is also important to apply the sealant properly to ensure a watertight seal. Another best practice is to label all conductors and equipment. Labeling helps to identify the purpose of each conductor and piece of equipment. This can be especially helpful during troubleshooting and maintenance. The label should be durable and weather resistant. In addition to the NEC requirements, there may be local codes and regulations that apply to rooftop unit installations. It is important to check with the local authorities to determine the specific requirements for your area. These local requirements may include additional clearances, grounding requirements, or restrictions on the type of equipment that can be used. In summary, using triplex cable and weatherheads for rooftop unit installations requires careful attention to detail and adherence to all applicable codes and standards. Addressing common challenges such as the transition from overhead cable to building wiring, managing the weight and tension of the cable, and protecting the cable from physical damage are all essential for creating a safe and reliable electrical system. Always consult with a qualified electrician to ensure that the installation meets all applicable requirements.